Previously on X-Men.
Stay tuned and let's check out this Marvel Legends X-Men VHS Jubilee. Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And remember, you can now hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends X-Men VHS Jubilee. Now this is of course Hasbro's tribute to that 90s animated X-Men show that we all love so much, and it's also the reason that a lot of our mind's eye versions of these characters are in that Jubilee design, because of the animated show, which Disney Plus are bringing back in 2023 with the continued continuity. So it's the perfect time for Hasbro to jump on our nostalgia, and they're releasing these figures in this VHS boxed style. So as you can see, the box art looks very nice, definitely worthy of display within itself with this new plastic-free packaging. I sort of understand now, I start getting more of these, how they're going to look on the shelf. There we have the VHS style on the side. On the back, we get that same digital render we've seen of the promo pics, as well as a write-up that reads, Jubilation Lee is the newest member of the X-Men, able to project plasma fireworks from her hands with explosive results. And as I said, now I'm starting to get a few of these in hand. I definitely get the gimmick, because that's what it is. These are re-releases of characters we've already got with some cel shading to make them a little bit more accurate to their animated counterparts. But the advantage of the plastic-free packaging is a really nice setup like this, if you have the real estate for it, because there's no denying that these look really nice displayed like that. Maybe put the figures in front of them, but of course the gimmick is the VHS style, because if you spin them around to their side, it's like we're back in the 90s. This is what we did before Netflix, kids. This is the VHS look, and they look pretty good. They're all the same height. Definitely will start to look good when you start to fill out a shelf. Mr. Sinister's just a little bit thicker, of course, because he's a bigger character, but they still fit in scale with each other. So yeah, again, it's a gimmick, but I appreciate it. I like it. And yeah, obviously comparison to come. Go and check out my review of those two. But right now, stick around, because we're opening Jubilee. Here we have Jubilee out of the packaging with all of her accessories, and it's nice to see they've included some accessories to give us options for the display. So first up, we've got an interchangeable head and two pairs of glasses. One's translucent, one's not. I'll show you a closer look at all of that in a minute. We also get some translucent effect pieces, which we've seen many times before with Marvel Legends, but I would have liked to have seen them try something a little bit different for Jubilee with a little bit more colour and flair, but these sort of work. But let's put some glasses on and do a side-by-side next to the animated counterpart and see how it looks. And I think it looks pretty good. Like, it's pretty close. It's not spot on, but it's close, because they've changed the gloves, so now the gloves are animated accurate yellow. The boots are a little bit taller compared to the show as well, as they should be. I just think the jacket collar should be a little bit bigger, a little bit more flared out, if you will. But still, again, this is sort of creative reuse, if you will. And of course, we have options with the glasses, so we can do some changes there. But side by side, not bad. And of course, a lot of people are going to ask the question, can you use this Jubilee in a comic display? So if I bring in two previous versions of Jubilee we've got, there's the Jim Lee version right there, and then we have the Build-A-Figure, sort of vampire Jubilee, if you will. You do have options for a comic Jubilee. Again, I still think these will work in a comic display if you can forgive the cel shading. My OCD will not allow it. But of course, I do a closer comparison, mainly with the two Jim Lee style versions, to see what the big differences are. But as I said, nothing new with this figure, all creative reuse. But let's get into a comparison. So, VHS versus comic Marvel Legend Jubilee comparison. What is the difference? Well, let's start down at the bottom. You can see the boots are different. You can see that the comic version has these slightly shorter sculpted detail boots, where the VHS version, the boots are slim, not really any sculpted detail, and they're a little bit taller, which does make them more accurate to her animated appearance. So I appreciate that. Also, I appreciate the yellow gloves. That now makes it much more accurate to the animated show as well. Other than that, the rest of the figure's basically the same. It's just the colours and the tones which are different, including the skin tone. That's a different colour. We've got different jeans, different belt buckle. She had a bright pink fluorescent top on the comic version, where the VHS version, they've went a little bit more subtle with the salmon, if you will. And I think they could have got away with it being pink like the animated show, but still, there's a difference. The emblem on the shirt's different, and of course the jackets are exactly the same. It is just that now she has the cell shading, which I'll show you a close-up of in a minute. The differences are in the heads as well, because yes, it's the same head, the same sculpted head. However, different colours, obviously, but also on the comic version, those glasses were moulded or glued. They do not come off, but they are translucent. You can see her eyes under there. Where on the VHS version, you've got options. You can see these nice cel-shaded glasses aren't translucent, but we do get an interchangeable pair of translucent cel-shaded glasses, which are a nice touch. And we also can take them off and have no glasses on Jubilee if you want to as well, as the glasses don't even have peg holes. They just literally fit on the face nicely, nice and snug, no problems at all. So you have options when it comes to the head. That's not including the interchangeable head, which I'll show you in a minute. But there you go. There are your differences between VHS and comic. Can you use this VHS version in a comic display? Yes, of course you can, if you don't mind the cel shading. Let's take a closer look and see where this cel shading actually is, because from the front, you can only really see a hint of it up at the shoulders. It's not until I start turning it and twisting it, you can see it more up here on the shoulders, even a hint of it down on the gloves, more so on this side of the body, all the way down the arm on the gloves. And again, if I move the jacket, you can see all the cel shading here down one side of the body. So on this side of the body, if I move that, you can see no cel shading at all under the jacket. On this side though, if I move the jacket, you can see there's cel shading from the collar all the way down to the bottom of the jeans. So it's a darker tone compared to the red and the blue of the jeans. So again, it's creating shadows from this side. The sun's hitting her, or the light's hitting her, and there's all the shadows on this side of the body, which is accurate and matches what we also seen on Wolverine as well, where the shadows are on the left side of the body. So once we have all of these displayed, as long as they're all like that, they will fit nicely into a display. Even down to the boots, as I said, the boots are the main sculpted difference compared to the other Jubilee one. They're shorter as well, but these are more accurate to the animated show, and the dark blue is on the inside of that one, outside of that one. So again, it matches the same light direction, if you will. But there you go. So the cel shading is there, but it's not too crazy. Now I want to show you those three heads again. Let's bring all three of them in for a side by side, and you can see you have three options. You can have no glasses at all, and obviously the head has no cel shading at all, but it is a different skin tone to the previous colour. And then we've got the two glasses option. So you've got the same set of glasses that fit snugly on the face, but now you have a translucent set, both with a blue trim, and both have that cel shading sort of white stripe across the lens, but one's translucent, one's not. So again, pick your preference. Both look pretty good. It's always nice to have options. I've also popped on this second interchangeable head, which is the exact same head that came with the sort of Build-A-Figure Jubilee, the vampire Jubilee, if you will, which is nice. It has the cel shading on the glasses, but these are obviously sculpted onto the head and in between the hair of the figure, but it still matches. And if I do a side-by-side compared to that vampire version of Jubilee, you can see it's the same head, just different colours and tones to match this new VHS cel shading design. So again, more options. But if I come back here, what else do we have? The effect pieces, which are these translucent pieces that we've had many times with Marvel Legends in multiple colours. This time they're pink with a little bit of white in there. So sort of resemble Jubilee's abilities. Not quite, but sort of. So I can understand why Hasbro made this choice. Again, a creative reuse, if you will. But you wrap them around the hands or wherever you want, and it creates that sort of swirly, twirly, mystic effect. But Jubilee, she creates plasma fireworks. So is that plasma fireworks? You can make your mind up. But still, it's nice to have a little bit of life on the display. So there's Jubilee with her glasses on, doing some fireworks. Moving into some comparisons, one final look at all the Marvel Legends Jubilees we have currently. So we've got the comic Jubilee, the VHS, and then the Build-A-Figure Vampire Jubilee, which was that elusive Toys R Us Build-A-Figure wave. Good luck finding that now, but pick your preference. And of course, you have the interchangeable head with the VHS version, so you can have the sculpted glasses sitting on the top of the head as she is seen in the animated show. So you have options. And here you have your first official look at the first two releases from this X-Men VHS lineup. At least the first two X-Men members with Wolverine and Jubilee. And you know what? Having these in hand, in person, has definitely settled my nerves about this line. I was definitely worried about the cel shading element of these figures. I thought it was going to ruin the figures, to be honest. It wasn't something I thought I wanted in my Marvel Legends. But now I've got these figures in hand, in person, posed together. I've got a new appreciation for what this line is going to be, especially in my collection. These are not going to be mixed with comic characters. These are not going to be on a comic display. I'm going to create its very own animated sort of section or shelf, whatever it is. But as this line grows, I do think our appreciation for the line will grow with them because these two are looking great so far. And we know we've got Storm and Jean to come, and we've already got a bad guy. So yeah, so far so good. And whether you choose to pose them like this or in front of their boxes, if you have the real estate to do that, there are definitely options for display, and that is something I always appreciate. So yeah, I know it's a gimmick, but what can I say? I'm a sucker. I'm in. Let's bring in Mr. Sinister. So now we have officially all three of the Marvel Legends X-Men VHS figures on the table. And you tell me, is this line something you are going all in? Are you picking and choosing? Because as I said, once you've got them in hand and you're posing them together, it makes sense, and the cel shading makes sense for this display. Whether or not you mix them in a comic display is up to you, but no doubt these look good. And again, let's bring in the boxes one more time, because I can't help it. I just think they look great posed in front of the boxes. I just wish I had the room to display them this way. Here we have Jubilee compared to Jean Grey and Cyclops, both in their Jim Lee outfits, comic figures of course, but we do know we are getting an animated version of Jean Grey, but the less we talk about that, the better. And hopefully soon, a brand new Cyclops that's not on a Bucky Cat body will be revealed. Surely, it's inevitable. Two other X-Men characters. Here we have my personal favourite, Beast and Psylocke. Here we have Frogman and Tigra. Last but definitely not least, here we have Jubilee compared to Captain Britain. And Hal, Fire, Hank. Final thoughts on this Marvel Legends X-Men VHS Jubilee. What can I say? I've been converted. Now I've started to get a couple of these figures in hand and I can see what they're like in person. The cel shading really isn't as bad as I made it out to be in my mind. I have a new appreciation for what this line is going to be, not just in general, but in my collection. It's there to represent that animated show that I loved so much in the 90s. And it's the reason that I know the X-Men so well to this day. And these are undoubtedly my mind's eye version of these characters. And again, this Jubilee's great. I know it's just a repaint and it's still on the same body, so we could have had updates like pinless tech or a new sculpted face. I don't know. It is the same figure, let's be honest, but it also gives people an opportunity to get Jubilee who may have missed out previously. But again, you can see the pins are still there. There are still updates to be made within the future, but of course, we're forever upgrading. This is just the next step. Just remember, these glasses are interchangeable and they remove, so be careful you don't lose them. You have options for display. You know I always appreciate that. Again, you let me know what you think in the comments. I'm more curious what you guys think of this VHS line. Now we've started to get a couple in hand. I can do comparisons and all of that. But go and check out my Wolverine and Mr. Sinister reviews on the channel right now. It's been fun to get these VHS figures. And this is all of them in fact are Hasbro Pulse exclusives shared with Disney Store, I believe. So yeah, I've been getting all of mine from Hasbro Pulse. Why do I have Jubilee a little bit early, you ask? Let's just say I've got a really good producer, but she will be here for you guys soon, I am sure. Again, just check those shipping dates on Hasbro Pulse. Patience, my friends. But we know we're getting Jean, we know we're getting Storm, and hopefully more to be announced in the future as well. Yeah, let's hope they fill that team out rather quickly. We've got the new show next year. I'd like to have all of the team on the shelf before the new show gets out. But yeah, you let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, go and check out the videos tab, find the playlists for all the reviews. And please, 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 hit that subscribe button. Much, much appreciated. You can also hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much, much appreciated. You can follow me on Instagram. It is Dan Who. And I'm on Twitter as well at Dan Who Reviews. And take it away, super producer, with my copyright-free version of the X-Men theme tune.
Da 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 dan dan who, da 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 dan dan who, da 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 dan dan who, dan who dan who, da 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 dan dan who, da 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 dan dan who, da 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 dan dan who, dan who dan who. Pow.